Hello, everyone. This is always Asma, and welcome to Tooways to Skin a Cat, a show where we talk about career experiences, entrepreneurship, and investments, which is what we're talking about today. The main aim is to show you that there's more than one way to be successful other than just climbing the corporate ladder. A reminder that the show will be available on YouTube and podcast by latest tomorrow morning. So if you are watching live, drop a 1 in the comments so that I know I'm not talking to myself. And if you're watching the recording, please drop a 2 in the comments. So today's topic is impact farming. And let me just see if there are any comments coming through so that I know I'm not talking to myself. So please do comment if there's anybody. Otherwise, I'll just continue talking to myself. So today's topic, as mentioned before, is impact farming. And you might be asking me always, why impact farming? Why are you not talking about shares? Why are you not talking about impact farming? Seems a little bit strange. So I'll tell you why. So shares, there's lots of information online. You can find that information anywhere. There's lots to learn. And I don't think I want to talk about it at some stage, but I thought, let me talk about something when there's not a lot of information and that might help you more. I might talk about shares at a later stage. Also, another reason I want to talk about it, the backstory behind why I started investing in impact farming was a few years ago. I changed jobs because I wasn't enjoying myself at the job that I had, and I moved to a job that I thought I would enjoy. It came at a slightly lower salary level, so I needed to adjust my budget. So I couldn't invest in, at that stage, easy equities wasn't as freely available as it is now. And yeah, so if you wanted to invest in the stock market, you needed like 15 grand every time you invested to make it worth it, because you pay costs every time you invest in the stock market. So when you reduce your salary, it doesn't always work out. So I started looking out for other options, like what else can I invest in? And one of the things that came up was impact farming. And I enjoy learning about investments, so I also wanted to test it out, see what it was all about. And again, the aim of this investment, of this session rather, is not to tell you to invest in impact farming. I'm merely introducing the option to you, and telling you about my experience over the last few years. And if it piques your interest, don't immediately invest. Do your own research, and then if it still interests you, then go for it. And the reason that I like impact farming is from as little as 300 rand a month. Not 300 rand a month, from there's 300 rand, you could invest in impact farming. So there's 300 rand for a blueberry bush, 4,000 rand for a beehive, and 5,000 rand for a solar panel. So it's green investing, and I'm also interested in environment, social, and government investing. So I thought, okay, let me try it out. If we talk about each investment separately, each investment has a different lifespan. So the solar panel, if you invest in a solar panel, the lifespan of that asset is 20 years. So it's a 20-year investment. If you invest in a beehive, the lifespan is 10 years. And the blueberry bush is 8 years. The payouts are also very different. So solar panels, you get paid out monthly. And so it's almost like rent. Beehives get paid out twice a year. And blueberries also twice a year when there's a harvest, because they get harvested twice a year. So you get paid out after harvest. Also, if you've got any questions, please put them through to the chat. I'll deal with all the questions towards the end. And for some reason, last week there was a bit of a delay in questions, so I missed some of the questions. So please put your questions through when you get. The other reason that I was quite interested in solar panel investing and impact farming investing was that this was something new in terms of being accessible to the general public. Normally, only big investment firms and big companies with lots of money could invest in like solar panels or some sort of alternative investments. So I was like, oh, something new. Let's try it out. Let's learn. I wanted to learn, and also because it's good for the environment. To me, it was a no-lose situation. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm merely sharing my experiences of what's happened for me over the last few years with investing in impact farming. Hopefully, that will save you some time, and you can use some of my learnings, and then you don't have to go through the same mistakes, or you can invest quicker. So again, let's go back to each investment individually. The solar panel, you invest in a solar panel on the roof of a shopping center or another building that is rented, and the property owner rents the solar panel from you, and you get paid rent every month. That rent is not going to be the same every month because it's based on the usage, and usage differs depending on the time of the year. For example, in the summer when the air cons are at full blast, you probably use more energy maybe than in the winter when the air cons are not that high. In terms of the honey, the beehive is built and farmed, and the honey sold, and that's how you make your money. And blueberry bushes, similarly, the blueberries are grown, and when the blueberries are sold, you make your money. Now, that I made it sound very easy, but because it is that way. Fed Group is the people that manage this impact farming, and they take care of all the admin. And as I mentioned before, I hate admin. So if there's somewhere that I can invest, I don't have to do any of the admin. Love it. So they take care of the farming. Is literally all you see. There's an app on your phone, so iOS or Android, and you can monitor everything from that app. You can withdraw from the app. You can invest using the app. It's quite cool. Now, one of the differences between this type of impact farming and investing in, say, shares or property is that at the end of the investment term, there's no value left in that impact farming investment. So at the end, once your blueberry bush is it's done. It's not you can't resell it. So the way you make your money is from the returns that you get. It's based on returns, and as long as those returns more than compensate for your investment, great stuff. So they compensate for your cost and they give you a level of return. That's very important. Don't expect, because shares, you can sell your shares potentially, but you might not be able to sell, or you might be able to sell if you speak to them. But yeah, so it's a different kind of investment. It's not like a stock market where you buy in, you can sell tomorrow. So that's something to consider in terms of whether you have capital available. Also, so this year hasn't been a particularly, let's say, good year, especially, for example, if you think solar panels are on shopping centers or buildings or office parks. When during COVID, when shopping centers were closed, or when it was only the certain shops are open, shopping center needs less energy, so it's going to consume less energy, so you're going to get paid less rent. So that's, but I'm hoping it has improved since level 4 lockdown, and I'm hoping it returns to normal. And those returns also increase as your municipal electricity increases come in. That's how so it's not the same return every year. In theory, it should be going up. I mentioned before that the app works very well. You can almost do everything you need to. The two things that are there are when you're withdrawing, you have to select withdraw, and then somebody contacts you via email, which is a bit of a schlep. They should just have said you can withdraw immediately from the app. I don't know why that's not part of it. But yeah, and the other thing to remember is when I say withdraw, because what happens is the rent that gets paid or the dividend, whatever gets paid out, you can withdraw. I withdraw as soon as I can. But the other thing also to mention is you can only withdraw if the cash balance is up to 300 Rand. So anything less, you can't withdraw. As long as it gets up to 300 Rand, you can withdraw. Another quick tip is that, and I don't work for this company, I'm just telling you what I've experienced. Every year on Black Friday, I think for that weekend, they have a special. So maybe look out for that if you're thinking of dipping your toe and trying it out. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do it today and not in a few weeks, because you might be able to take advantage of that opportunity. Again, do your research first. And I'm not saying they definitely will. I'm just telling you that what they've done for the last few years. I'm hoping that they'll be able to do that as well going forward. So I'm hoping in a week's time that you'll be able to see. Maybe a question for you is: have you been aware of any other impact farming apps that have come up? I've noticed one or two starting to pop up. One relating to livestock, and one, but I haven't done my research on that yet. So if you have any thoughts on that, please do share that in the chat. In the meantime, I'm going to go through questions and see if there are any questions. So let's see. Do we want my YouTube channel name? I will put it for you in the chat at the end of the show. Ismail's asking, are there long hold periods for input? So as mentioned, the solar panel is a 20-year. The beehive is, did I say the beehive is 10 years, and the blueberry bush is 8 years. They were planning on setting up a secondary market, but that hasn't come up since the start. So they talked about it at that stage, but I haven't heard anything since. There was also where, because they also, the nice thing is Fit Group, they send you your statement every month. They also talk a little bit about what's happening in the industry. There was talk about something else being added on top of the three options, but again, nothing's come up, and I'm thinking because of COVID that maybe that's fallen by the wayside. But we shall see. Are there any other questions for me? Otherwise, I'm going to be wrapping up soon. Just a reminder that do we just if you want quicker access to my YouTube channel, it is on my LinkedIn profile. If you go to one of the posts on the front, that also has my details of the YouTube channel and the podcast channel. Let's see. So Amar was asking what were the payouts like pre-COVID. Payouts were decent. They range between like 7 and 10% return, somewhere in that for the solar panels. For the other two, because they were closer to the start, so even if you look at the research on the website, it shows like the first few years, it's more like 4% return, 5%, and then once it gets towards the latter years, you're getting 20%. That's what they say. I haven't experienced that yet, but that's what they say in terms of the blueberry bush grows bigger, and at harvest time more can be harvested and more can be sold. So it has been going up. So I don't. Again, I can't hold me to this. I can't hold, but that's what they say. So it seems to be going up. So it seems to be going that way. Mohammed Samji wants to know am I referring to the Fed Group app? That's exactly what I'm referring to. The app is Fed Group Impact Farming, so you can just have a look at it on iOS or on the App Store or the Play Store. You can register. It works for me, especially if you don't like admin. It really works for me. Asha, you joined late. Don't worry. This will be available on recording. It will still be once we end, and it will also be on the YouTube channel and the podcast. Mohammed Samji is saying that he's used the Livestock Wealth app and got paid out in 6 months, but different products. So 6 months. Are you saying you got your full capital return in 6 months? Because that's amazing. Or you're just saying your first year return? But yeah, so that's something that might be worth looking into is Livestock Wealth. I don't have experience. I've heard of it, but haven't tried it. So not sure. We can provide us with more info. Yeah. So I think that's it. I don't see any more questions. Next week's episode, I'm not going to tell you too much, but next week's episode will be an interview and it will be something different. So I'm quite excited about it, especially for the people thinking about secondments and things like that. So, but I don't want to let the cat out of the bag now. We'll see you as we go there. So thanks everyone for joining. If you do have any further questions that come through a little bit later, I'll try and reply on the comments at the later stage. Thanks everyone for watching. Bye-bye.